Okay, everyone, I am going to show you the last project that we're going to do, and it's just going to be a formative assessment for this unit. I'm going to show you how to make a badge, and I would like everyone to try to make this in Gravit, even those who are working in Adobe Illustrator, because I want you to just get used to another quick system. So if you haven't gone through Gravit before, then let me show you what that looks like. You will just go to the link that I gave you, which is designer.gravit.io, and you're going to create an account using this login. So just create an account using Google, and then when you do that, I want you to start this by opening up a project. You're going to open up a new project, and you are going to ask it to be 6 inches by 6 inches, and make sure you click on the inches here. Okay, and that's going to be our badge size. So it's going to be new design. You type in the things once you've created the account if you haven't already. And the first thing I want you to actually go ahead and do is just go ahead and save it. Now if you haven't done Gravit before, then you save it by naming this and say badge and write your name like that. Okay, so the badge will look like this in the end. Okay, and we are learning the skills of typing text on a pathway with this badge. So the first thing I want to do is create 2 circles. So I'm going to grab the ellipse tool here. I'm going to hold down the shift key so that's not just an ellipse, right? I don't want to make an ellipse, I actually just want to make a circle. So if you go to the ellipse tool and you hold down shift and you draw it, you're actually going to make a circle. And you want to make it kind of the size of the space here. Let's make it as big as we possibly can. Okay, and once you do that, let's go Command C, Command V to copy and paste. Hold down Shift and reduce the size. So you're just essentially making another circle that is inside the first circle. All right. Now you can't really see the colors because you haven't. They're both gray. So let's jump over to this website. Whoops, that's not it. COL like that. So coolers .co, and then when you do that, sorry, it automatically goes to a color scheme that I've created. Just say start generator, and you're just going to generate a nice color scheme, and that's going to help you. We've talked about this before. We use this in the web design unit. Use the space key and get a color scheme that you like. Okay, and once you have a color scheme, and let's say that you have one color that you like, let's say that I like asparagus, you can lock that color in while you try to get some other colors that go with it. Okay, I kind of like tea green as a light color, so I'm actually gonna use that and maybe generate. Okay, I like this color. This color palette speaking to me now. So I have a dark color that I can set the badge to. I have a light color that I can put the font at, and I have another color that I can put inside. Okay, now to get these colors, and I'm just kind of going through this fast. Maybe you want to take your time on this. I'm going to copy this hex value. The first thing I'm going to do is change the outer color. So let me click once on that. I always try to double click and it never works. I'll paste the color in that I just got and click outside so it changes that. Let me change the inner one to, I like this color. I can always change my mind later on. Click it once, go here, delete this, and paste that in. Okay. Now I would like to add text on the inside. So I want text that goes around so I want it to be actually linked to the outside of this inner circle. Now let me show you how to do that. So if I want to just create a text box, I would put the T here, and I would notice that when I switch over from the ellipse tool to the text tool, my palette changes over here. What I'm allowed to do changes. So if I just clicked, it would just create a text box like that, and I could change a lot of different things about it. But I want to actually I don't want it to be just a simple text box. I want it to be text that goes along a pathway. So I want it to be along the curve that's on right here. So if I click the T and I hover so that notice that there's a small magenta line that shows up, and you'll also notice that this becomes highlighted. Once you have that, it means that when you click with the text tool here, the text is going to be attached to the inner circle here. So I'm going to click and I'm going to write Dr. Quint here. And you're going to write your name, or you can write, I don't care what you write. Maybe you want to write your avatar's name. Maybe you want to use this badge as your profile picture in for our school, for our email. You're just going to make a badge that you can use anywhere if you want it to kind of stylize something. So I'm going to use this. I'm going to pretend maybe I'd like to use this as my profile picture for our email. So I'm going to write Dr. Quint here. Now, I'm going to click over to the selection tool, and notice as soon as I click this and drag this drags it around the path, by the way, if I click this little red box. Notice that I also get these, I didn't have them before, but once I click on that red, I get these toggle buttons. So I can have it on the inside of this circle, I can have it on the outside. I can reverse it, though I don't really, I guess that would be good if I wanted it on the inside of my circle. But I like it on the outside of the circle, so let's do that. I'm going to drag it over here. I'm going to change the color, so I really liked this light tea green color, so I'm going to grab this, copy it. I'm going to put it right here. Okay, and you can pause the video and go along with me if you would like, and then just come back to it when you have the choices that you've made. I would like it to be a different font, so I'll click here. Once this is selected, I want to click here, and maybe I would like a font. I like a bold font usually for my for the name that just shows up more. I typically like fonts that don't have a lot of like cursiveness to them, because I think they're more readable, and that's just my style. You can change the, I guess this one's already bold, but sometimes they have an option of bold and semi-bold. I'm going to increase the size of this here. You can also increase the spacing here between characters. So that really increases it, so maybe you could put it at, it looks like it takes in decimal values, so maybe I put it at 1/10. I can increase the spacing there a little bit. I could also notice that if I reduce the size of this circle by holding down Shift and dragging, it takes the font with it. So I can just mess around with that a little bit. I can move this so that it looks like that. I kind of like the spacing as it is, I guess. Maybe it's strange that it uses such a small value for this. So I can do that. And so just mess around with that. I don't have to do that in the video with you. I did it here so that I got it to be the distance apart that I wanted and the location that I wanted here. Now we're going to use the text tool again, and you're going to write something, but I want you to write it on the inside of this outer circle. So here I notice that the ellipse right here has been highlighted, so if I click here, I can write my text, Urban Assembly Gateway School for Technology. Now you don't have to write Urban Assembly. I don't really care what you write. This is the purpose of this, is that you just get some understanding of how to type on a pathway. So I don't care what you write in here, but I do want this to be on the inside just like it is here. So in order to do that, remember, drag this. I don't know why it becomes the case, but all of a sudden you get the case, you get the ability to push it on the inside. Let me see what it looks like reversed and on the inside. So that's actually what I want, like this. And I can choose my font. I like to use a font called Inconsolata because it looks like old school typing font. So I generally, to me that just looks cool. Maybe that's just because it looks vintage for me. So like something like this font. Okay, the way to give it a little bit of space so that it's not sitting right at the bottom of this circle, so that it's kind of inside the circle, which I actually want to do with this one too, is click here, and then this distance here you can change. So I would use the up arrow tool because for some reason it just changes so weirdly. Let me just put 1 here for a second and press enter to see what happens. I don't really understand why it switches to 72 when I hit it, but let's see. Let me put, I'm going to go Command Z so it gets back to where it was before. That didn't really work. So let me actually just put 0 there. Okay, so 0 gets me back to the position it was before. Let me try adding 0.1. Okay, so that changes it a little bit. Let's try 0.2. Okay, so that changes it a little bit more. So just go by tenths, I guess. I don't know why it switches it here or how to change that, but maybe 0.3 would be a good, that's kind of like in the middle. So 0.3, you can change it like that. I guess I would want this to be maybe 0.2 away. So I like that. So it looks like it's in the middle. Maybe I just want this to be 0.2. Okay, so there I have the beginnings of my badge. Now the next part, I want you to just search an icon. So icon for, I'm going to write tech because that's what I would like. You don't have to do that. And I want you to just pick a simple icon that you can. So this is like a processor. So what I'm going to do is take a screenshot of this, and then I'm going to, so let me save it. I'm going to say icon so that I know on my desktop. Then here, I'm going to go bring it in like this. Okay, so I have this icon, and what I'm going to do is I am going to, let me actually put this on a different page. I'm going to use the tools here and recreate this icon. Okay, so I need a rectangle here. I need it to have the border radius change, so I will change the border radius so that it is rounded like this. I wanted a rectangle in the center, so I'll copy and paste and reduce the size here. I can change this to white and the outer one to black like this so that it looks more like that icon. And the reason why you're doing this is because typically when you have a picture, there's a white background, but I want that icon to sit inside of the badge, which means I don't want a white background. And then I just need to have these little rectangles here that I can change the border radius on like this until it matches, and then just sort of change the size here. So once I get it the way that I want it, like this, and I'll change the color to black, what I can do is just delete the background and copy and paste these other little things. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit with my trackpad. So copy, paste, and then shift in order to get these other features. Right, so you get the picture here that I'm just recreating an icon. Right, that's what I want to sit inside of my badge. Okay, now once you have this, what you want to do is click and go across, and you want to group it together. Now you don't want to merge them because you don't want the same color here, but you want to group them together, right? This becomes one group. Then I'm going to go copy, I'm going to go here, and I'm going to paste it here. So here is my little icon. I might even want to, once you have it in the position that you want it in, and you can fine tune it by using your left and right arrow key. I'm going to zoom out so that I can, everything seems a little off center to me. So I'm going to use my arrow key to kind of bring things, a little fine tune them. So once you have it, and I also might want to ungroup it here and just change the color. I can usually right click and ungroup, or just go to the group itself and find the individual rectangle here and just change the fill for that rectangle. So I might want it to be not as bright. Anyhow, or I might want it to even match the color of the font here, which was that avocado color. So I can always do that. Remember that this is showing me the group, but if I click here, it generally it shows me the rectangle, so I can just grab it here, look at the fill, grab the eyedropper here and then kind of move it over so I can pick up the color here. Right, so maybe that's what I like. So that is your badge. When you are finished, remember, and I should have been doing this all along. I don't know why I wasn't. I'm just so used to it auto-saving. It should save. Okay, and the last thing that I want you guys to do is be able to save it and put it on a Wakelet. Now I know that some of you have Miss Leisure and she's been having you guys put on things on Wakelet, so I'll explain how to do that. You want to go from File, Export as a JPEG. Okay, so it downloads there. Okay, so after you've downloaded your badge, you're going to head over to the Padlet so that everyone can see everyone's badges. And you're going to add something here. Remember, title it with your name. So, you know, if I were a student, I'd say my first and last name here. And you want to upload something from, let's see, pick file. I want it from in my downloads. Here it was in my downloads. And the badge should come up. And that's it. So everyone should be able to see everyone's badge. Let's see. And when I click away, it's there. Okay. So everyone's going to add the badges to the Padlet. I will grade them from the Padlet. And yeah, we can all see the work that we've done. Okay. Have fun.